picture a time of solution. See the possibilities.
Hi, everybody. I'm Carey Davidson, author of the Five Archetypes, Ancient Technology for Problem Solving. And this is a channel about healing relationships with yourself and with others. Today, we have an amazing primary wood with us. Amy, welcome. Please share with us, what would you like to change?
Hey, thank you for having me, Carey. I would love to find more consistent energy in my work. And do you want me to elaborate on that a little bit? So when I have a project that is new, I am really excited and I am all in and I give probably 120%. The moment it starts to feel repetitive, I feel my energy back away, and then there's procrastination, there's more overthinking, I just feel this huge lull, and I have a startup. So that doesn't work because there has to be some consistency and repetitive to do the humdrum things every day.
I totally get it. I totally get it. Could you give some examples of things that are fall into the new category so people know like what is new, and then things that fall into the repetitive category?
Okay. I'll give you an example for social media. We are supposed to be doing videos every day, but it has to stay on theme and on topic. And I get bored with the topic. And so if we were just talking about life in general, it might be easier for me to do a video every day about today I had cold coffee. Yes, I mean, it's always changing. For me to do a video every day on the exact same topic, I find that I'm not doing them now at all because it feels very flat when I record.
And what's an example then of something new, like that has in the past gotten you excited that you're more open to doing things?
So outside of social media, like kind of anything.
Anything, yeah.
Okay. Um, it's always that new, like if somebody said do a video today about, I don't know, my cold coffee, I'd probably come up with something because I haven't talked about my cold coffee before. Um, it's always that if I get to meet somebody new, I'm super excited. Now, after I've met them for a few times, I have my close friends. Um, but it's almost like I've opened. Now I realize this isn't the truth, but what happens with my energy, it's like, oh, I've opened up the book, I've read a couple chapters, I'm good, and I close the book and put it away. But that first time I get to open the book, I'm so excited. I'm really excited. Are you looking for the inconsistencies or something I'm consistent with? Great.
Well, I would say examples like but it sounds like you gave me an example, an example of a time. What does the new look like to you?
Yeah.
So like the example of a new relationship that can kind of it's not exciting anymore after a few
Yeah.
times.
So also pitching a business idea for funding. I love meeting the new people, but saying the same thing about the product over and over and over again. I'm like, can you not read my mind? I realize that's not the case. Um, but I do feel like I'm falling a little flat.
So how would you say this challenge has impacted your life, work, and relationships?
Uh, Greatly, because once I find that I'm trying to do the same thing over and over every day, I feel like my energy is gone. And if I'm just like, I just want to watch TV and not move. I mean, it feels like it's that extreme. Like I know there's a whole world out, not only out there, but within my house of discovery and kids and everything. But there's just this, it feels like a flatness. And I'm on hormone replacement therapy, so it can't be hormones. Otherwise, I'd say it's age and hormones. Like if I travel, if you said to me today, I'm going to go to a place I've never been, I would be over the moon and I would be so excited, and I wouldn't plan anything because it's the excitement of being there and who I get to meet and where they tell me to go. And then the things I get to see. If you said I'm going to go to Tampa, Florida, where my son lives, and I've been there 100 times, I'd be excited to see him. But I don't have the desire to go out and explore Tampa, even though I'm sure there's new things there.
Would you say this is something that is new at this time in your life, or when you look back, has this been a theme?
A theme, a theme. Yeah. And if I don't feel progress and forward movement, Like if there isn't a flow to it, it's almost like I pull away and then go, okay. And then my attention is taken to, well, what's next? Which, you do a bunch of things, which are very exciting, but master of none, jack of all trades, master of none.
So do you have any issues with food, eating, digestion?
No,
Okay. And organization, structure,
not good.
not good. Tell me how, in what way?
Unless it has become such a habit where I don't think about it. I have been exercising since I was 18. That almost feels habitual. Like I don't, it just happens. Just as like for brushing my teeth. So even though, but I do change my workouts. I can't say I brush my teeth. I can't say I've changed the habit of how I brush my teeth necessarily. But other than those, unless it's so ingrained, the idea of being organized feels pretty messy. And that feels boring too.
Yeah, I get it. So if I was able to help you address this on this call, what would be different in your life if you woke up tomorrow and you felt different or things were different or you were able to do things differently? What would success look like?
Well, I think from what I can tell of what I need to do to get from point A to point B is to have some not only organization but those steps and a plan, but to be excited about it. And I don't mean like totally over the moon, like, oh my God, you're going to Europe tomorrow. Where do you want to go? Doesn't need to be that level of excitement, but some passion. Um, I think passion drives me. Some passion behind the everyday tasks.
Have you ever had anything where it was repetitive and there was passion behind it?
Certain workouts over the years.
So only exercise?
Yeah.
No, like, okay.
Yeah, getting up and getting to move. Even though I walked slash jogged this morning, I can't say I went very far, very fast, but just knowing I was going to be outside and the movement helps stimulate to do the next task for me.
Okay, so you ready for some five archetypes thoughts? Okay, so according to the Five Archetypes philosophy, we all have these five resources available to us that when we use them all in balance, we are in the flow of things. Nothing bothers us. We're adaptive to stress. We don't take things personally. We don't worry too much about stuff. We always know there's a way forward. And in everyone I've ever met on this planet, each of us has at least one that's primary, one of these five styles that we overuse and overvalue. And when we overuse or overvalue one part of us, we naturally undervalue the other parts of us. So we are kind of lopsided in how we address things at work, in our own self-care or in relationships. So your primary is wood with a very close secondary fire. Wood is all about physical movement, speed, momentum, initiation. It's all about change and fire is about excitement and celebration. It's all about new. It's at risk for getting bored with monotony because we overvalue what's fun and exciting and fresh and new and what's a challenge. And as soon as something is no longer a challenge, you know you've won it. It's the energy of, all right, what's next? Give me another challenge because this no longer inspires passion in me to do anything. I already won it. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there is a physical, my co-founders have seen a physical change. I feel it, but they have actually seen when we were deciding on colors. I could care less about colors. It's just not my thing. And there was a lot of talking about it. And they said they watched my energy and I felt it go from here to all of a sudden I was just like, I'm done for the day. It's like this drain. And I'm like, I want to plug it. Just colors.
Yeah. Well, wood and fire are the fastest moving of the elements. which means if we're overusing them to engage in everything, we're going to exhaust ourselves, burn ourselves out really fast. And so we're going to have those extreme expressions of, I'm done. Like all of a sudden, Amy is so full of energy and so excited, and it's very obvious because it's such a big shift between all in and all exhausted. And so your lowest elements, your lowest one is metal with the second lowest earth. And metal and earth are the slowest of the five. And so it's the part of you that would slow down, pay attention to details, be totally fine with monotony. It's also earth is the part of you. The reason I asked about your digestion is because earth corresponds to digestion as well as to conversation and collaboration and brainstorming and all those slow talking engagements, small talk, or just hanging out and having 5-hour lunches for no reason.
I
Yeah.
get tired.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I want a decision, I realize it's not how this always works in life. But I'm like, let's make the decision, move on next. And I realize not only do I not always have the answer, so I don't have the decision there either, which can exhaust me, but I realize not everybody works like that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Earth and well, earth for more than metal, earth is the part of us that is indecisive because the whole goal of earth is just unification. It's gathering information to chew it up. That's it. It's
That's
not
it.
about, yeah, it's not about decision making. The wood in us is about decision making. And so you have a lot of wood energy and a lot less of earth energy. So you're going to favor speed over just small talk for no reason. And so inside your own mind, you're going to have low tolerance for it, but you're also going to have low tolerance for it in other people and in the tasks you're being called upon to do.
Makes sense.
So you can do a few different things here. And one thing is recognize this in yourself that your metal is your lowest. Lowest is repetitive things. So repetitive social media stories about the same topic every single day. It's just not your jam, and it probably will never be your jam. So you can delegate that. Like that's one way to just like, give yourself grace. And it's just not going to be your jam. You're really good at other things. You're really good at the entrepreneurial, fast moving stuff, the big ideas, the big plans, the future vision, the strategy, the asking for money, and the pivoting, all of those fast moving things. That's what you're really good at. So one thing would be to delegate. If you can't delegate this and you have to make friends with it, the strategy for you is to do that through a bridge. And what I mean by that, in five archetypes, the elements exist on a wheel. Fire at top, earth, metal, water, wood, around in a clockwise cycle. It's hard for us to do the behaviors associated with the elements across from us in a circle. Metal is across from you. It's the one that actually can cause the most frustration in your mind when you're overusing your wood and you want to move faster. Something telling you you have to do the same thing over and over again will be really super annoying. So you can't ever be that. We can't, it's as weird as saying tomorrow the sun is going to turn into a tree. Like we can't ever do our opposite, like be our opposite. But if you do it through the bridge of water, water is accessible to you and it's accessible to metal. And so water calls upon you to look at your social media and these stories and this directive and ask yourself the deeper question of what legacy do you want this company to leave for whom? And is the decision we've made about how we do these stories and that I should be the one to do them, does this actually deliver on that legacy? And if so, how can I tap into the deeper part of my own soul and pull something much deeper than just the surface level monotonous content? But how can I access different parts of my deeper need to leave something more amazing for future generations so that these are not monotonous, but they are a little special each time because I'm reaching something where I know I'm talking to that young girl out there who doesn't know yet what it's going to be like, when she gets into her 50s and experiences these changes in her whole life. So you can kind of tap into that passion and that depth as you speak into the phone and the video to do the social media posts. That's one way. Um, does that sound like anything that could work for you?
Yeah, yeah, actually, the you just brought in a new idea, so thank you. Not only that kind of legacy and why, but how fun to talk to. It's easy for me to talk to my past me. What would I tell myself every day to have? Did I know I was going to need a tweezer to pluck chin hairs? No. So make sure you have that on board or in your Amazon cart for when you're in your 50s. Those type of things, there's a lot of things like that could be every day. There's something that I was like, God, if my younger self knew.
Yeah.
That might be a great way to go, because you just not only said something about the inspiration you gave me is the wood. I'm sure that was the wood that came out there. But you're, from what I'm hearing, water asks really good questions. Okay. And I know how important questions are because they can reframe everything.
Yeah. Water is the part of us that hears the resistance of the ego and doesn't believe it.
Okay.
Because the resistance of the ego in wood energy is this needs to be fast or I'm not going to do it. That's not your highest conscious self. That's the part of your wood energy that doesn't want to die. Don't kill me off. I like everything fast. And so it's heavy and it's strong. It's the fastest, most intense of the five elements. And so it wields a lot of power. And so in order to kind of start to shift that, sit back into the water energy and be able to have a relationship to those thoughts that come up, and as if it's separate beings from you. Your water could be sitting on your shoulder all day and waiting for wood to say, I don't want to do a social media post, and your water's gonna be like, I was waiting for you to show up. What is that about? Did we not make it meaningful? Did we not make it fun? We can make this fun, guys. And so then all of a sudden, you've got this other emotional imbalance in your head where you're talking to five different people. No, I'm
I
kidding.
think it's already happening anyway.
Yeah, but the things we can only change things that we have a relationship to. If we think it's our identity, then all of a sudden it's stuck. It's like it is me. I can't change me. But these are just objects in your awareness, these thoughts that pass through, these beliefs that this stuff is boring and exhausting. Well, change your relationship to your perception of that by going into your water, because water nourishes wood energy. It's called the parent energy. So in Chinese medicine, they talk about when the child is suffering, he heal the mother. And so rather than addressing the thing itself, the thing that's rearing up its head and complaining, we go into, well, the mother of that, so the energy before that is water. Is your water being used to its utmost capacity to be able to help quiet that wood annoyance?
Okay, that's great. And it actually shines a lot. I keep shining a lot from what I understand of the five elements. But when you said chit chat, now this is nothing against men or women, but I have found that in the past I have many more girlfriends now than I used to, and work with a lot more women. But my past has always been, I actually enjoy being around men more because they don't do this small chit chat shit. They want to get to a solution, or like there's something deeper for me in those conversations. And a woman would say something different. I think they would, because they would say, we want to talk about our feelings and get really deep. And I much rather let's get to a solution and move on. And I feel like that's more of a male energy a little bit with what I've been raised with. And so I'm like, no wonder all those years I would gravitate towards males rather than females.
Yeah. I don't know if that's conditioning in us,
Yeah,
where that comes from, because anyone who has high wood and low earth
right.
will feel the exact same,
Yeah,
regardless of gender or culture or where they are in the world.
yeah,
But that's exactly, people with high earth will want to, they'll use the term hold space, things
yeah,
like that. And it's holding space feels like your skin could come, you'd rather peel off your skin because all it does is hold. It sits still. It doesn't do anything. And wood wants to know, great, that was a problem, and here's how we're solving it. It's momentum, it's speed. So it makes total sense.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any, is this helpful enough to get started?
Very helpful. And yeah, and easy. I think easy enough, maybe easy to get started, maybe not so simple in the moment. It'll have to take where I remember that the water is on the shoulder so that I start to ask a different question or see from a different perspective or slow down to just as you said, hold space for it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you can also drink water, get good sleep, walk in nature for no reason. Those things can also stimulate the access you have to the water guy on the shoulder, rather than it being a really like, oh, I have to go into that space. That little dude becomes much more available to you the more you build water in these other ways that the ego doesn't know you're doing it. So hydration, sleep, listening to gentle music, taking a bath, taking a swim, touching a tree, all that will build access to your water energy.
Okay. Is the fact that I don't like water, does that have anything to do with? I mean, I like a shower, but I like a quick shower. When people say take a bath, I go, why? Is that?
Yeah. Yeah, because it's slow. It's
Yeah,
empty. There it doesn't do anything.
yeah.
And so the more you create access to that part of your mind and the way you engage with your perception of reality, the more your perception broadens. And it's not right now you're using like 20 to 40% of your perception, which is your wood and fire ways of seeing the world. So these other 60 to 80% of the world represented by um, earth, metal, water, and sometimes fire are not are not available to you when you're feeling frustrated. And so you will feel better the more of yourself you use to problem solve.
Okay. Makes sense.
I
I
mean,
can do it. I can do it, Professor Carey.
I know it. I know it. Oh my God, Amy, you're a pleasure. I can't wait to hear how this goes for you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It'll be very helpful.
Awesome. Awesome.